Hello,
Hi,
Lori.
Tamara.
Lori, I'm so thankful for you to come on and do an interview with me today and share your success story about your business. So, if you could just go ahead and please introduce yourself and share an overview of your business, and also what is the main website you prefer for people to find out about you when they want to know more?
Sure. So I'm Lori Karpman. I'm a businesswoman. I'm an entrepreneur. Um, I have been working since I was 10 years old. So I've always had my hands in different pies. I was an entrepreneur even when I was little. And I currently have a management consulting practice, and we specialize in the franchise industry. So brands come to us because they have a great business, they have a concept, they want to expand it, but they don't have the money. And so they use the franchise model. So I've been doing franchising for 40 years now. So that's my area of expertise.
And what would be the website that people should go to when they want to find out more about your business?
It's lorikarpman.com.
Okay, and how do
So
you
it's
spell? Would you go ahead and spell that?
LoriKarpman,
Perfect.
lorikarpman.com.
Excellent, excellent. And if you can please share in detail how you feel successful and wealthier because of building your own business.
One of the things about building your own business is that it gives you a tremendous amount of self-confidence, especially when you achieve goals. You feel really great about the fact that, you make your own future. And that's what I love about being an entrepreneur, is that there's just so many opportunities out there. And, you as particularly women, we really have the opportunity to create our futures now.
Which is wonderful because we tend to be creative by nature and nurturing by nature. So it's really a great fit for us to be able to put all of those assets into building a business and not only learning about ourselves, but being able to make a difference in the world. I think it's very rewarding for many, many women. So
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next question is, if you could only choose one answer, what is the number one way that building your business has enriched your life, and why would you encourage other women to pursue building their own businesses as a form of self-discovery and especially self-empowerment?
The process of owning your own business, especially as a woman, is a journey of self-empowerment. We are taught to believe as women that we can't have it all. And the truth of the matter is, you can have it all, just in different amounts at different times. When your kids are younger, you spend more time with your family, less time on your business. As your kids get older, your kids need you less, and you get to spend more time on your business. And that's why entrepreneurship is great for women, because it really allows women to create the kind of life that they want, with the schedule that they want and the structure that they want.
Absolutely. It's like the perfect scenario for the freedom that you need at specific points in your life, and
Yep.
that it just flows with your life, and it's not rigid or structured, which is very difficult for women because there's so many women juggling many different things at the same
Yeah.
time. So this is really a great opportunity for women to pursue that. And just curious, have you had coaching to help with your mindset and business growth? And if so, why would you recommend others to hire a coach?
Yes, I've had coaching both personally and professionally. I'm a big believer in it. I mean, I do business coaching, and I even believe that coaches should have coaches. Um, you know, I think having a coach is really important for several reasons. One, for the accountability, which is really the number one reason why people get coaches. And two, because a coach provides a structure for you. So a business coach helps you to expand your business. A life coach works on your mindset. So there's sort of two kinds of coaches, and a lot of times women actually need the mindset coaching more than they need the business coaching, because we're conditioned that everything is limiting for us. And we're not conditioned to believe that we can have anything we want. And that's what mindset coaching leads to. It leads to really an understanding of the fact that, yeah, I can do this. I can have any life I want. I'm responsible for building it myself. And when you have that mindset, it's amazing what you can do.
I absolutely, also being a money mindset and business coach myself, it's everything to me. 80% is mindset and 20% is the systems and strategies. And when you realize that, you don't gloss over these little self-help books and so forth, you start to realize that that's the meat and potatoes of everything, because you have to have your whole mind in place as the foundation for anything to grow, whether it's your business or your relationships or your health. It all comes back to a self-respect, self-empowerment. But these are things that we need help and guidance on, because we don't always know how to get there. We know we desire it, but we don't have the tools. And I agree with you. I have coaches. I will always have coaches. I am a coach, but I have coaches, and
Me
I will
too.
never stop that. Yes, it's so important. And it just keeps you invigorated. You're always growing, you're always learning, and it's just one of the best things that you can do for yourself. So
Yeah.
wonderful.
And then that, the process of the mindset coaching and the business coaching can be very uncomfortable. And that's what you need it to be, because if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing.
Amen.
So I tell my
Absolutely.
clients that you have to feel comfortable feeling uncomfortable and just go ahead and do it anyway.
That is one of my favorite things. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I actually have a course that I put together with exactly that title. Pushing those comfort zones is everything. So that's just, yeah, it's agreed. So this kind of touches on what we just talked about, but money blocks are a huge issue for many women. And as a money mindset and business coach myself, I love helping women transform their money story, especially. And what was your number one money block, and how do you rise above it?
Interesting. My money block, we often, end up with the same problems that our parents had or reliving what we know. And my parents were horrible money managers. They were just bad. They were bad. If they had
My
money, they spent it all. And if they didn't have money, they didn't have anything to spend, and they didn't know about saving. And it was just bad. And that's, so we lived a life of feast or famine. And that's what I grew up knowing. And that's what I ended up recreating for myself, was a life of feast or famine. And it wasn't until I started doing some coaching around the money mindset that I realized that I'm living my parents' life. And I, realized, oh my God, this is the same model that I saw growing up, and this isn't what I want. And so I got a money coach, exactly what you're saying, so that I could understand, saving and how to save and what to save for and how to do it and all of those things. I needed those tools and structures. I need someone to teach me how to manage money. And that's
Yes.
very common amongst women. And, I'm a successful businesswoman and I still can't manage my own money.
It's interesting how it travels along the journey of life with us, the things
Yeah.
we learned from such an early age. But it's that awareness of it, and it doesn't mean you have to be perfect at fixing it, but just the awareness is the biggest benefit. And that is what you get through reading books or getting coaches or hearing other people's stories and being able to relate to them. And that's for me also one of the main reasons I really want to doing this book, is because it will showcase all of us having similarities, and then people won't feel so alone, and they'll be like, okay, well, she did it, she overcame it, she created her own successful business, I can do it too. And so thank you for that. That was really great, because it will inspire many women who are also struggling with those things, which are very common among women. So everything you said
Yeah.
is
Yeah. I
absolutely.
mean, we're taught to be, have your own business, but nobody teaches you how to run one,
Yeah, it's so
you know?
true. So true. Um, so I just recently, because this is new, I'm releasing a new part of my business, because I realized a lot of the times too, us women that are women entrepreneurs, we do nothing but think about and do our business, and it's all wonderful because we love it. It's really a great experience, but sometimes we can't leave it behind, and we forget to have a little bit of fun and break out of the mold. So I sort of combined, I'm releasing it soon, but it's called the Travel, Dine and Prosper Society. And basically, yes, there will be business building systems in there. There'll be chances for promotion and the whole 9 yards. So we cover the building parts of the business, but I wanted it to be fun too. And I know one of the main reasons I want, I focus on building my business and achieving money success is I want to travel and I want to eat in fancy restaurants. And I figure I'm not alone in that. So let's have some fun. And so anyway, this club is about that. But specifically travel, I have traveled so many places alone. And it's just really with friends and family. For me, it's been one of the most exceptional ways of finding my own self-reliance, self-empowerment, confidence. And so my question to you is, basically, how has travel expanded your own mindset in relation to your business? And in what ways do you treat yourself like a wealthy woman every day? So like, how is your traveling directly affected your business in a way that you could see, wow, if it wasn't for that traveling, I wouldn't, maybe it's a confidence thing or something. How would
Yeah.
you share that?
I do a fair bit of travel to build my business because I go to trade shows and conventions. So, and I used to have a business in Toronto. I live in Montreal. Toronto is a 5-hour drive. Used to have a business in Toronto that I was in every second week for 4 days. So I did a lot of commuting back and forth. And, the thing about doing all this business travel is that people think it's so exciting. But for those of us who do a lot of it, it's not that exciting because, oh, but you stay in nice hotels. And, that's the one thing when I travel, I stay in nice hotels, I eat well, like I make the travel part of the experience.
Yes, absolutely.
So those make the trips easier for me because that's one of the ways that I treat myself like a wealthy woman is that I stay in nice hotels, I have nice meals, things like that. But given the choice, I'd rather be home having my own meals, sleeping in my own bed. And I think that's true of a lot of people who travel for business. But if it weren't for the traveling, I wouldn't have the business that I have.
That's
So,
right. I guess,
it's through networking that, that's how I build my business is through meeting
right.
people and networking. So.
Right. So that is a perfect aspect of like business and travel together. But I think I was more speaking about like your own personal travels, like adventures you've taken just for yourself, not related to business, but how by doing that type of travel, you could see somehow it built your confidence in some way, or you're feeling like you could connect the dots that solo travel trip you took to wherever it made you stronger in some way that has directly helped you build your business.
Believe it or not, the travel that really, sort of built me was my first trip to Europe. I was 16 and I went to live with a family in Paris for 6
I did
weeks.
that too. Oh my goodness, I did that.
And that was a fabulous experience. I was there, I was living with a family. They were business associates of my father, so they weren't strangers. And I stayed with them, and it was really interesting because I lived in their home. So it was really like traveling, but not like being a tourist. It was really like being a resident, going to all the local places that only the locals know. And that was really my first trip that I took by myself, that I was tens of thousands of miles away from my parents, and I was 16 years old. And I remember really not liking this family and not liking being with them and thinking to myself, I can't stand this family. I want to go home. But I had the foresight to know that I don't know when I'm going to get this opportunity again to live in France. So I just, sucked it up and finished my experience, which was a wonderful experience. Just, the family wasn't so wonderful in the end.
Yeah, it's true. And that just taught you to sometimes just push through even when it's not exactly perfect for you. Like there's parts of business, we love our businesses, but maybe not every aspect of our business, but you probably recall on those things consciously or not that, okay, you can't always be cherry picking, and we have to, do the things sometimes we don't want to go and grow forward. So that's exactly perfect perfect example of how that relates and builds other parts of your life that you don't even realize that it will.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, how do you create a 5-star reputation for your business? I actually am a reputation strategist, and I help women business owners to build, manage, and market their 5-star reviews. And I know before people buy anything, they need to believe in you, and a good reputation solves this. So how do you, and this is important for new business owners that will be watching this or reading the book, how would you encourage them, and how have you built your reputation, and why does it matter? And do you have any pointers that you can give
Sure.
on that?
It matters. It matters more than anything else. Your reputation is all you have. And my father used to say to me, all you have is your name. And he'd say, and right now it's my name, so don't ruin it. Okay? While he was still alive, he'd say, right now it's still my name, so don't ruin it.
No
And that's,
pressure.
yeah, no pressure. But that's true. That's all you really have, you know. And I have built my reputation over the past 40 years on honesty and integrity. And people know me, and they know that if you ask me for my opinion, you're going to get a brutally honest opinion. So if you don't want it, don't ask for it. But that's what I'm known for. I'm known for being really upfront with my clients, very transparent. And I built my career on speaking and writing. Now, when you speak and write, you can be the biggest idiot in the world. But if you speak and write, people think you're an expert on the topic. They see your name, they think you're an expert, whether you are or not. That's the perception. So I've built my business over the past 40 years through networking and writing and speaking. And that's how you build up a reputation. For me, that was how I built up my reputation.
Yes, and keeping your word and
Yeah,
communicating a lot. Absolutely.
exactly. You know,
Absolutely.
like say what you're going to do and do what you're going to say.
Absolutely. Okay, so the next part of our interview together is sort of a speed round. So I have 24 questions here. It sounds like a lot, but it's fun and it'll go quick. So it's more like the first thing that comes to your mind, not too in-depth, not too short, but we'll just go ahead and go forward with these questions. So let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Go, let's go.
Okay. First question. Why did you decide to start your own business? What is your big why?
I decided to start my own business because I have never been a good Indian. I am only a chief. I've never been good. Well, I've been employed for other people. I don't do well as an employee. I need the freedom to be able to think about it and do it in my own way and not be micromanaged. And so for me, I mean, I worked for other businesses. You know, I mean, I wasn't in my own business forever, right? I worked for other companies first. But I wanted the freedom of making my own schedule, being my own boss, working only for the clients that I like, taking on only the projects that I'm interested in. And that was something that being in my own business gave me the freedom to do.
That answer could be my answer. I am a little bit of a rebel. I don't like to be told what to do. That that maverick in me comes out. So I love it and I think a lot of entrepreneurs have that running through them because we just need that freedom is everything. So
right.
Number 2, what advice would you give to someone just starting their business?
I would tell them that in the entrepreneurial world, business goes up and down. It's very cyclical. And not to worry when you're in the downs because the ups will come. And that was something that took me a long time to learn, that when I wasn't busy, I used to freak out and think my business is over, and then realize that no, it's just a period. I'm going through a period and it will come back. And so now when I'm in the lower periods, I, use it to do other things that I need to do, that I need to get done, or personal things or whatever, but I don't sweat it anymore that I'm in the low period because I know the high ones are coming. And that's what I would tell people is business is cyclical and you have to be comfortable with that.
That's true. I just actually spoke with a relationship coach and she said the same thing. She was so busy around the holidays, because that's when
Sure.
a lot of people are hoping to have that love connection to share with, and Valentine's Day. And now she said it just dropped off because of all of that, but she knows it'll go back up again. So it's very interesting. It's across the board. There's definitely
Sure.
something to that. So, okay, number 3, how do you deal with fear and doubt?
I don't. I don't.
Ooh, yes.
I don't. I don't have fear.
Oh,
Fear, what I do is when I have fear, I face the fear and I do it anyway.
yes.
There's a lot of
Love
things that
that
I've
book.
been afraid to do,
Yeah.
but I feel the fear and I do it anyway. And I get tremendous empowerment from that. You know, I'm a skydiver and,
Wow.
the first time I went skydiving, I was like totally afraid. And then I just said to myself, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm just going to, I went tandem. So I was strapped to somebody. So I said, I'm just going to enjoy this ride. And it was so amazing and so exhilarating. And when I got down to the ground after, it was like, you feel like you could do absolutely anything.
I love this.
So
Love
I
this
figure if I can
answer.
jump out of a plane, I can do most anything.
Well, it's interesting you say that. And I love I know this book. Is it Melody Beattie that wrote no, Susan Jeffries wrote Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. That book was significant in my life. So I love that saying. It has really served me well. And interesting because when I was in Europe, I was backpacking through Europe by myself, and I was in southern Germany, and I was riding a bike through the meadows, and it was all fabulous and fun. But all of a sudden I started to feel a little bit like, oh, this is really nice, but I need a little adventure. And I saw all these people tandem jumping over Neuschwanstein Castle, and I thought, first of all, I'm afraid of heights unless I'm in a roller coaster
Right.
enclosed by a machine. I don't know what came over me. All of a sudden I go and decide, okay, how much is it? And let's do it. And I got a tandem guy. His name was Fritz. He hardly spoke any English. All I could make sense of was he said, I will count to 3 and you just jump, don't look down. And of course he's, in his broken German, he says, okay, run to the edge. Don't 1, 2, 3. And of course, what did I do? I looked down, and then he kind of shouted at me, and I didn't want to get yelled at. So I just decided to jump. The next thing we're like flying up and over the Neuschwanstein Castle. And I was giggling and having the most
Yeah, it's
amazing
great. It's a lot of
time.
fun. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And like you
Yep.
said, after that experience, on the flight home back to America, I was just looking at building, and not on the flight, but when I got home, I'm like, I want to jump off that building. I want to jump off that. I
Sure.
just got so excited. I didn't, of course, but I am looking forward to doing that. And I had a picture of my sneakers, so high above, and I placed it on my refrigerator. And I said, if I ever get afraid, I'm going to look at my feet hanging over, all those high in the sky, and
Sure.
remember that I can get over my fear. So
Right.
this good example, I can relate with you. I did not jump out of a plane yet, though. I have to add that to my list. So, okay. So number 4, what empowering routines, wealthy woman habits, do you focus on each day?
Self-care.
And how does that look for you? What is that?
For me, that looks for me when I'm finished working, I work at home, but I'm very disciplined. I have an office. I have a beautiful office. I've created a space for myself that I love to be in, but I only work in my office. My computer does not leave my office. If I'm working, it's here. The rest of my house is home. It's not a workspace. So I come in the morning and I open my light and I open my computer. I start my day. I'm here all day. And then at the end of the day, I close my computer, I close my light, and then I'm home. And the first thing I do is I'll just sit for half an hour, either watch the news or mindless TV, but just like, don't talk to me. I just need an hour to sit here. Like, I tell my boyfriend, don't talk to me. I'll be finished in an hour. And then, but if you talk to me now, I'm going to be grumpy and grouchy. So don't talk to me. So
Gotta
that's what that means
decompress.
for me.
Yeah,
Yeah. It
I
means
love it.
taking the time to
Absolutely.
decompress. Sure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Number 5, what is your big vision for your business? And do you have a timeline for it?
My big vision for my business is actually just to create a business that will scale and travel with me. So I love what I do. and I can do it from anywhere. I mean, I'm Canadian. Most of my clients are in the US or in Europe. So I can travel from anywhere. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to create the kind of practice that I can, move to, Panama or Costa Rica and just relax and be able to work from there. So that's my big picture.
It's absolutely possible. I'm actually
Yeah.
living that right now. My husband and I were, he's German, and we were living in California because that's just where I was living when I met him, and my family and friends are there. I'm originally from the East Coast, but then he just got a great job opportunity again for himself back in Germany. And I'm still, and I love it. It's
Right.
beautiful. However, I don't want to completely be fully in Europe. So I'm doing a split. I'm maybe not 6 months,
Right.
but about 4 to 5 months I'm in California and doing my thing. And then I'm back here. And, it's a little adjustment because I'm sure, of course, I'd like to share everything with him, but that's just sometimes the way life, it doesn't always go that way. So
Right.
you figure it out. But I love that I can take my business anywhere. So you absolutely, you will do this. And I love the
Yeah.
idea that, because you can break it up. You can go to Costa Rica for 3
Absolutely.
months and then go
Yep.
to New York for 3 months and then go to California for 3 months, or
Yep.
Spain for another, and absolutely fabulous. Love it. Okay, so number 6, how does your business look different now versus when you first started?
Well, I'm much more successful now than when I first started. I have more clients. I have a team. I have more expertise. I have systems. I have procedures, all of those things that I didn't have then.
In place.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
Let me touch on that
Tamara, I
one.
just want to make sure that we get to finish all 24 questions because I have a hard stop.
Okay, so we'll go speed.
10
So
past
I'm
12.
just gonna speed it out for you then. So,
Perfect.
okay, so number 7, how do you set your business apart from others in your industry?
My business is full service. When a brand comes to us, they don't need to hire any other professionals. And I did that because when I was the owner of an operating business, president of a chain of restaurants, I spent more time managing professionals than I did running my business. So when I sold it, I created my firm to be a full service consulting firm that does legals, financials, operations, sales, HR, so that when brands deal with us, they get back on average 5 to 7 hours a week in their schedule because they're no longer managing professionals. We do that for them. So that's really what makes us different. Is I'm the only one in Canada and US, the only one who does what I do that is completely full service.
I love that. And that's like turnkey operation.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Number 9, what was one of your biggest challenges you had to overcome as you were growing your business?
I got into debt, credit card debt. Ultimately had to file for bankruptcy, which I did many, many years ago. And I certainly learned how to manage money after that. So that was my biggest setback was, coming back from a bankruptcy. That was really difficult.
It's hard, but it can make you stronger to go through that and set you up to really put things in place. Like you said, you had, because there's a lot of people there are these things that happen, and sometimes you can't get stuck by the falls. You just have to pick yourself up and go, because everything is a learning lesson and everything can help you build yourself. And I love the one saying that says it's happening for me, not to me.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Okay. Number 10, what mindset around money did you have to activate to overcome challenges related to charging your worth?
That I'm worth the money. I had to come into an abundance mindset that, and that I know from doing this, like, I don't have imposter syndrome anymore. Many women have imposter syndrome. And as you get older, that starts to go away because I'm 60 and I've been doing this for 40 years. And, professionally, maybe not personally, but professionally, I have a tremendous amount of confidence. I know that I'm great at what I do. So I don't really suffer from the imposter syndrome anymore. But that's something that takes years to get over.
It does. And you're right. When the age helps, because then you just get to a point where you just know yourself and you're you're good. You're good
That's
with
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It started in my 50s. It was like, you know what? This is who I am. Some people will like me, some people won't. That's okay.
So what?
You know,
Yeah,
so what?
exactly.
Yeah.
Number 11, what qualities do you think every entrepreneur should possess?
You have to be persistent. You have to be
Mm,
persistent because you have to just keep trying and keep working it. And, you know, if you're talking about marketing, I tell people find one strategy, just don't be all over the place. Just find
yeah,
one strategy and work that one strategy. Yeah.
absolutely. My last interview, she just said the same thing, and I agree. I myself scattered myself too thin at first. You get overwhelmed, then you get down on
Right.
yourself that you're not
Yeah.
succeeding enough, and then you lose your ambition and motivation. And so the one book I read was The One Focus. It really helped me. It's like master one thing and then think about going on to
Yep.
the next thing.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
number 12, do you agree that mindset is more important than systems and strategies, and why? And I think we
Yeah.
kind of covered that.
Because
Yeah.
you could have all the systems and strategies. If you don't have the right mindset, they're not going to work for you. You know,
Mindset's
mindset has to come
foundational.
first. Yeah.
Absolutely. 13, how did you go from turning your passion and expertise into lucrative client attracting packages?
Um, like I say, I'm very lucky that I have a particular niche and I have a varied range of expertise that most people don't have. And I just happen to have that because of my career path. So for me, it was more of a question of understanding the services that I'm good at
Mhm.
and farming out the services that I'm not good at. So my strategy for building my business has been to sell my strengths and buy my weaknesses.
Oh, can you say that
And
again? I love that.
yeah, sell your strengths, buy your weaknesses. And
Beautiful.
it's a brilliant way to run a business because it also shows you that just because you can do something or you're good at doing something still does not mean you're the person who should be doing it. So you have to be able to delegate.
I love everything you said to that answer, to that question is spot on. Number 14, what has been your biggest victory or milestone that you have achieved in your business so far?
Well, I was just named today, as a matter of fact, by Acquisition Magazine. They have the Most Influential Women in Business Award, and I won
Bravo.
the Most Influential Woman in a consultancy job or a consultancy firm. And
I love
so I just won that for 2023 Most Influential Women Business Award. So that's cool.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I
Don't
love that
forget to,
because I don't apply for that. I don't submit my own. This is something that strictly,
like the
other
People's
people
Choice
vote
Award.
on, like a
Mhm.
People's Choice Award. Yeah,
Don't forget to send me that link. I want to
sure,
make sure we get that out there. Okay.
sure.
Congratulations. Big
Thank
deal.
you.
That's awesome. Number 15, what will you never compromise on with your business?
My integrity. You
It,
know,
love it.
if I didn't have the level of integrity that I had, I would be a much wealthier woman, but I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror. And that's my trade-off. I need to look at myself in the mirror and feel good about myself. And so I will never compromise my integrity. I remember working with a company and this client came on to franchise and I said to my partner, I said, you know, this business is horrible. We're never going to be able to sell these franchises. And he's like, well, we'll just do the development work. I said, well, you can't just do the development work and then leave them hanging and not sell the franchises once you're done the work. And he said, well, why not? And I said, because if you don't think their system is going to be successful, then don't take their money and set them up. Tell them, I don't think you're going to be successful, and save them, a couple of $1 million. And he just had a different mentality. He's like, no, we'll just do the work and then pass them on. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm out. And I left.
Good for
And like,
you.
I
Yeah.
can't even work for a firm that has that mentality.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No money is worth that not liking yourself at the end of the
Correct.
day.
Yeah.
Number 16, who is your biggest business role model that most of us would know who it is that you mentioned? And also, what is your favorite business book?
My role model is somebody that no one would know. My role model is a man named Robert Rach, who was, when I first started my career, I practiced law. So I'm a recovering attorney. I practiced for 34 years.
Mhm.
And the first partner that I worked for really taught me how to generate business. He really taught me about lead generation and how to bring in the business and how to close the business. And I've learned from him, and I take in what he does, and that's worked for me over the past, 20, 30 years.
Fantastic,
And
fantastic.
my
And do you have a
favorite
favorite?
business book,
Mhm.
yeah, it's by David Sandler, and
Okay,
it's called You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar.
interesting
And
title.
it's a fabulous book. It's an easy read. It's what I recommend that to everybody. I've read it many times. It's on the Sandler sales system, and it's meant for people who want to sell and not feel salesy.
Ah, that's great. I will
Yeah.
definitely look into
Yeah,
that.
it's a great book. It's an easy read. He does it through storytelling. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a sales system that I've been using for 20 years, and I swear by it.
Perfect. Okay, and that is something that anybody can get. Is
Oh, yeah,
you go
yeah.
to
You can get it on Amazon.
Amazon
It's
or
on Audible.
okay, great. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
great
It's
tip
millions of
because
copies have been published.
excellent, excellent. Let's see. Number 17, how do you define success? What does it look like in a day in your life? I think you kind of hinted on that
Yeah.
before anyway, but what does success look like a day in your life?
Success in a day in my life looks like having happy clients.
Mm,
That's what it is for me. When I'm a professional copywriter. It's a little gig I have on the side. I'm a professional copywriter. And I love when I send things to clients and I've written business articles for them or blogs or websites, and they come back and they say, "Oh my God, that's amazing. I could never have written it myself." And I'm like, cool. That's what makes me excited, is that my clients like my work.
I love that answer too, and I can relate to that. It's the best payment in the world is
Yeah.
praise.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Number 18, how would you describe your formula for success?
It is being honest and authentic, realizing that I am not selling a product or a service. I'm providing a solution to a client's problem. That's a huge mind shift,
Yes, it is.
because it takes you away from the feeling that you're selling someone something. I'm not selling someone anybody. They have a problem and I have the solution. This is my solution to your problem. If you like it, great. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But that's really how I see selling is, I'm not for everybody. Not everybody's going to want to hire me. But those that speak to me, that get who I am and that I'm authentic, I always close those sales.
I love that. I think of it like too, selling is serving,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility. If you can help somebody quickly and successfully, you have an obligation to do that for somebody else if you are a giving person. So selling is serving. So, and I love the way you framed it as well. Wonderful. 19, at what point did you look at your business and consider it a success?
Success for me has come in stages. So my business has been successful at different points in times for different things. So, I'm, like I say, I'm very well known in the franchise industry. They call me the Yoda of franchising. I'm like really
Huh?
well known in it.
Mhm.
So, I think I lost track of the question.
Um, just at what point did you look at your business and consider it a
Consider it a
success?
success. I considered it a success at different points. So
Okay.
like when I got my first $10,000 client, that was success. And then when I sold my first franchise, I considered that success. And then when I brought on my first assistant, because these are all growing stages. And so
Milestones. Yeah,
success for me is a journey. It's not just one thing, it's not just like,
absolutely.
it's the journey of having small successes every day.
And knowing that it's worth continuing your business because you're seeing, okay, it's working. Let's keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Number 20, what would you change about your business journey if you could go back in time? If anything.
I would have, when I got divorced, I would have hired a money coach when I got divorced.
Mm,
That's what I would have done. Because like many women, although I was in business and I'd been in business, my ex-husband managed all of our money. So the money would come in, and the bills would come in, and he would take everything to the office, and I never knew how much anything cost. So when I got divorced, it was a big shock to me. And I got my settlement and I went through it pretty quickly because I didn't really understand how hard it was to make it and the value of it. And so that's what I would have done, is I would have gotten a financial coach if I had
I
to go back and do it all again.
I love that answer. It's strong and it's so relatable what you're saying. And I appreciate your honesty. I've gone through it. My mother has gone through it. Her friends have gone through it. My girlfriends have gone through it. I hear stories from other people. It it seems shocking to me that we have to be, there's so many beautiful, great men, but there's also this need that we have to put in place to be a little bit more protective and put our boundaries in place and get smart about money and that mindset and confidence. So thank
Yeah, I
you for
would have
being
gotten
authentic.
smarter. Yeah, I would have gotten smarter about money a lot sooner.
Yeah, but it's okay. That's part of the journey, and
That's it.
yeah, and thank you for that, because there's a lot of, I think a lot of women have a lot of shame around money and
Yeah,
mistakes. And when you are so beautiful to share, you're basically saying, you're not alone, sister. I've been there. I got through it. I'm a success now. You're going to be just fine. And they can
absolutely.
relate to you. And it helps take the stigma off of it. Who said we had to be perfect at something we were never really even taught the tools to be perfect about?
Yeah,
How
no
are
one
we
ever
being so
taught me
hard
about
on
money.
ourselves?
You know,
Exactly.
my
Luckily we have,
parents,
yeah,
my
yeah,
parents had a
exactly.
horrible mindset about money, and that was all I knew. So that's what I picked up.
Yeah, and they learned it probably from their wonderful, beautiful parents that did the best that they could. Your parents did the best that they could for you, and that's just how it goes.
Yeah,
And but it's just, we're living in such a great time right now where there's so much ability for us to finally get educated about this and make some proper choices for ourselves. So I spent a little time on that one because that's big for you, me, all women. And this is the biggest thing, is about women's financial empowerment, is everything. It's about your choices, it's about your confidence, about your freedoms. It's so important.
yeah,
So thank you for letting me get on my soapbox on that one. But your answer
yeah.
was
No worries.
beautiful. Um, okay, 21. What is the hardest part of being an entrepreneur?
The hardest part about being an entrepreneur is feeling like you're alone.
Mm,
Um, and that's why I've joined networking groups, mastermind groups, speak to people like yourself, because I know I'm not alone. I know there's a lot of people out there who are in the same situation, dealing with the same challenges. And, through the networking groups, that's what you pick up, and you hear what other people are doing and how other people are handling the problem, and it gives you ideas. So for me, it's all about speaking to other people.
I love that too. And just to elaborate on that a little bit, as great as our family and friends are, they don't always get what we're doing, and they're not
Yeah,
our audience. And we sometimes learn the hard way. We get excited, we want to share with them, and then there's no maybe enthusiasm or possibly even a criticism. And it just brings us so down. And we all have to realize, and I'm speaking to the brand new business women owners that will see this video, please find the right audience, and they will build you up and give you wings and give you advice and help you soar. You're lucky if your parents and friends and partners and such can get it and they're your real biggest cheerleader, but don't count on it and don't make them wrong for it. You're just in a different zone and they don't necessarily get it. That doesn't mean they're right and it doesn't mean you're wrong, but find the right network, as
yeah,
Lori just mentioned, and support yourself with people that can support you and build you up and not make you feel alone, because there are going to be days when you want to throw in the towel, And that's when you call your business bestie and you get on the phone and you get your mindset fixed. So
Yeah.
another good point. And then on the opposite, then, what is your favorite part of being an entrepreneur?
That I create my own destiny. I work
Love
when I
it.
want to work. I take on the clients that I want to take on. I don't do things that don't interest me. I don't work with people I don't like. And that's, to me, that's, that's about having control over your own life,
Yeah, yes,
you know?
absolutely. Choices, freedom. Number 23, what is your number one professional tip for women to grow their businesses?
My number one tip for women is that you can have it all. Because they tell women you can't have it all. You can have it all, just in different proportions at different times in your life. So
Absolutely.
I've had my business. I mean, my kids are 27 and 30. So I've had my business now for 25 years. And that's what they grew up seeing. They grew up seeing a mom entrepreneur. They grew up in a house with 2 working parents. So that was the model that they got to see.
Love
And
that.
yeah,
And it strengthens them seeing what's possible because
yeah,
you're a great role model for them.
yeah. And like, I look
And
at my
then,
daughter and I look at my son, and they don't, sorry, I look at my son and daughter and they live in a different world, and where they don't see male, female, black, white, trans. They don't see that. They just see people. And I think that's beautiful.
oh yeah, yes, absolutely. Let's see hearts, not forms, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And finally, the last question, number 24, what is something your audience does not know about you?
My audience doesn't know that I'm a crafter. So
Do tell.
I paint, I do dishes, I do ceramics, I make jewelry, I knit, I don't sew, I suck at sewing. But I do needlepoint. So that's, those
I
are my
love it.
hobbies, is that I'm a total crafter. Is that, people think, oh, you're a lawyer, you can't be creative. And it's like, they're non-mutually exclusive. It's like, I have to explain to people, being a lawyer is what I do. It's not who I am. There's a big difference between
Exactly.
what I do and who I am, right? So
Exactly.
that's
I
what
love that.
yeah.
Well, Lori, this has been an amazing interview. I'm so thankful to you for sharing so beautifully, authentically, with such wisdom. You are going to really inspire and help women business owners that are just starting or in the middle or at the higher part of their journey. Everything that you said was just spot on and beautiful. And I just thank you so much for your time today. And
Oh,
if
it's
you
my
can just one more
pleasure.
time, thank you. And let us know again how people can find you. What's the best,
Yeah,
what's the
they
website
can
link?
find me on LinkedIn under
Okay.
Lori Karpman.
Okay.
Or they can go to my website, which is lorikarpman.com. So, and then they
Okay.
can, on my website, they can schedule time with me. If they'd like to schedule consultation with me, it's perfectly free. So I would love to speak to anyone who thinks that I could be of help.
I think that your phone will be ringing, as it probably already is. So thank you again for taking this time with me. I appreciate it. And I look forward, maybe we can check back in a year from now or so, or a little bit later, and do another follow-up and get some more words of wisdom if you're wanting to
Totally.
kind of get in front of my audience again. So
Yeah,
thank you
totally up to
again.
it anytime.